seconds.
All right, this is a warm-up, it looks like. So I think this is already going to be pretty indicative of how both these players are going to be playing here. So FireStorm already 4 PPS, right? Like this is the what you expect from FireStorm. His whole game plan, right, is I want to pressure my opponents and top them out with this sort of style of pressure. Whereas I don't see exactly what Vince is going for, but I think he's mostly planning on using his like immense crazy speed.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's much to be said about FireStorm's play. I mean, sometimes it does get to be a little bit autopilot sometimes, because I mean, his whole intention with his game plan is to turn it into a single player game. Vince, on the other hand, I think like very much carries his whole performance based on the speed that he displays. Like even in this round, he started off 3 PPS average, and then at the end, like he sped up to 3.6.
Yeah, no, Vince super fast, right? Like you can see him burst. What you should be looking out for Vince, right? Is like he has the potential to go so fast, so you'll see that in like speed bursts in his play. sorry everyone. Dazer just said the most. All right, well, we won't get into it. It's pretty good. It was pretty good. All right, FireStorm cheesed up a little bit here, but it looks like he was able to get down pretty nicely. Vince, a bit of a misdrop here. We'll see if he's able to sort of downstack, but it seems like he's able to kind of dig through it. FireStorm relenting a little bit on that pressure, but now again stacking up. Looks like he's going for a 4 wide here, seeing if he can get a big spike.
Wow. Yeah, this is going to be most troubling for Vince. Oh, wow, he's actually able to survive it, but I don't think he has enough room to get down.
Oh. Super unfortunate. Almost able to survive the 4 wide, but not quite.
Yeah, that was a really good effort. Honestly, like I'm surprised he didn't just get topped out outright from that. Yeah. That's going to be one of the most problematic things about FireStorm's play, at least for Vince to try to counter, because, oh man, sometimes he has like the most rough misdrops to get through, and I think that's going to be like FireStorm's openings in terms of setting that 4 wide up.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, FireStorm, like again, his 4 wide is again obviously very scary, but even like without the 4 wide, right? It's not like that's like a super main part necessarily of his game, because he's still, again, his main focus is this whole single player aspect.
And that's the thing, really. Like, I mean, the most threatening thing about FireStorm isn't the fact that, like he's got a powerful 4 wide or a back-to-back game. It's just that he is quite literally like good at every aspect of the game that causes pressure to be mounted onto the opponent. Like he's the one that squeezes you dry, and you can kind of see that in every aspect of his play too. That's what he's trying to accomplish, really.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think also a lot of like the Jstris mechanics kind of reward that style of play as well, compared to clients such as Tetrio, where Tetrio rewards like these huge multiplier spikes, and those are often like what determine whether a game is won or lost. In this game, there's a lot spikes are a lot less prominent, or like, not that they don't matter, of course, right? Because when you spike out an opponent, right.
I honestly think like mainly it's just a difference of like how you're spiking. I think in terms of the 2 games. Yeah, because I mean, Jstris is very spike heavy, but like in different ways. You have to set up the position first, in my opinion. And then, that's when the 4 wides and like the big back-to-back fractal into downstack combos come out and, really shine. Because, I mean, I've tried just, for example, just mounting a bunch of back-to-back pressure and trying to just like top over my opponent with that kind of pressure. But, like if your opponent isn't in a bad position, then really like it's not so difficult. So you really do need to like use all your tools here.
Yeah, like it's a lot more difficult for like the spikes to top people out. And I think that's also partially why we see a lot more 4 wide on this platform. I mean, partially because the combo table is a lot more friendly towards it compared to Tetrio, but also because a lot of the time it's that extra little bit that you need, or like when you find an opportunity where your opponent misdrops, it's that little extra bit of spiking damage that can win you around, especially like when it's a lot easier to downstack out of bad situations here.
Right, and it really does open up a lot of opportunities. Like if we look at players who are more downstack heavy, like Diao, for example, one of the things that he does is set up his opponent's board with cheese, such that they're in a bad position. And actually, that's kind of the game plan that Vince is taking on at the moment. Like back to back pressure when his opponent is in a bad position, and it actually works out. Like after he set up the position for the cheese, like he just goes for that back-to-back pressure, keeps pushing. If his opponent happens to get out momentarily, like he just goes back to downstack comboing, set up the board again, and then just go for more back-to-backs when he can.
For sure, yeah. Vince coming back a little bit, by the way. 3-2 now in FireStorm's favor, winning the last 2 games, though, on Vince's end. So a lot of it was just sort of exploiting FireStorm's mistakes. And speaking of FireStorm's mistakes,
God.
Vince he has so much pressure there. FireStorm unable to find a way out.
Yeah, honestly, Vince was looking a little shaky at the beginning, but he's really coming in on his own here, like really solidifying some of his play, and commentator's curse.
Yeah, 4.35 PPS, that's just like, it's unheard of in multiplayer, basically, right? Even from FireStorm, you don't see that too often.
Yeah, FireStorm lighting up with some back-to-backs on his end too, giving his own response to the pressure that Vince has been mounting onto him.
Yeah, this set is really a lot of like a story of who makes the first mistake and can the pressure not let up. And I think both of these players are doing a great job of not letting up the pressure.
That's very true, yeah, and I think that's going to be paramount in this matchup. I mean, just look at all the pressure that Vince is sending over to FireStorm, and he's still living through this. Like, look at how cheesy it looks. FireStorm almost at the bottom of the field.
Wow, nice comeback there. That was really scary from FireStorm, but that was like very smart timing from him, able to like recognize that, wow, I have a Tetris ready, and so I should time that effectively to cancel Vince's send so I don't die, and then able to come back from that.
Yeah, and I do wonder how much timing Vince is employing in his play, because, well, like in my discussions with FireStorm, he does seem to be like one of those players that autopilots through a lot of the game situations and most optimal setups. Usually it's like a 6-3 stack for back-to-backs, for example, and he's usually able to find most continuations. But the thing is, like, there's this subtle timing that he operates with. It's like the flow of the match. You have to like be able to follow it to know when to attack your opponent, and I wonder how much of that kind of game sense Vince is using at the moment.
Yeah, also important to note, right? Like Vince, while he is super known for his speed, right? Like I don't think his versus game is as optimized given his speed as a player like FireStorm, where like Vince knows how to go really fast, and he's obviously no slouch in versus. I mean, you're watching this, right? Like he's kind of a champion. But
yeah, he's holding his own right now.
Definitely holding his own. But then some aspects of his play might not be as, say, refined, I guess, as FireStorm.
Right. Yeah, I can kind of see that, like, in the way that he's downstacking some of these situations, too. Like, some of them he's just, like, rushing through. Oh, interesting. Ooh. Center 4-wide from Vince. Ends up being a pretty decent one. He's got FireStorm on the ropes. He just needs to capitalize on this. Oh,
he chokes with the misdrop.
He's still able to. Oh no! He was able to get the T-spin double. I am so shocked that he's still alive, actually, because some of these misdrops are wild.
Wow, what a sad way to lose a round, too. That's really unfortunate.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I think
had him.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, he had the situation completely under control. I think he just like rushed it a little bit. Maybe he saw like blood and he got a little too excited and kind of slipped with some of his pieces. A little unfortunate to see, but same situation here. Let's see if he can finish it up. He does.
Yeah, that's what you like to see, you know. Vince, again, able to kind of recompose after that last game and remember, like, it's not over until it's over. I gotta finish the game.
Yeah, you gotta like go in with a strong attitude, really. I think, really, I mean, just the fact that this is a puzzle game, but it's also like a mental sport. So you really need to conserve that energy for where it matters.
Oh, for sure. And I think what I'm noticed in these last couple games, they weren't necessarily the deciders. In the last game it was, but FireStorm has just been creating these huge spikes. And Vince just didn't seem to really have an answer to them. Oh, okay,
Ooh.
commentator's curse. I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
Yeah, FireStorm just misdropped the O piece. I think he would have been fine otherwise. Just, you know, a slight miscalculation there with the spacing.
Because, I mean, both these players are just looking to punish, right? So even a tiny mistake like that can cost a round. Even on a platform which is like as downstack friendly, or friendly towards downstackers, I guess, as Jstris.
Yeah, I think in that situation, you know, you just really have to like watch out for the top. Some of the physics of the pieces at the top of the field, like they don't really play in the correct way. Like you might kick a wall or something, and that might impact like how the piece moves. So it's important to like pay attention more at the top.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, it's easy to like make a mistake at the top again, yeah. For sure. I think everyone who's played Tetris also knows that, you know, because even on top of like the different kicks and such, there's also the pressure. Oh, FireStorm, that 4-wide, unfortunately getting a little greedy.
Yeah, I am actually shocked about that. Because,
I know.
Yeah, exactly. Because he usually never gets caught. Yeah, like this just goes to show. I mean, my hypothesis is just, you know, slight miscalculations of the timing. Maybe FireStorm not used to such a speedy opponent. You know, because Vince can actually, like, you know, accelerate his velocity to crazy extremes. Yeah. But, I mean, I don't know how much of an impact that might make.
Yeah, it's hard. It's always hard to sort of estimate something like that, right? Like how FireStorm's being impacted, how he has to change his game plan. Now he's setting up a 4-wide. Oh, this is so high. This is bound to be a lot of damage.
Man.
He can find
Vince
the combo.
is not prepared to. Like, as soon as he's caught, he just throws up. Oh, no.
Oh, this is so unfortunate.
Yeah.
All right, nice score here. FireStorm match point now. Looking to make his mark and win the first set, make it to winners finals, you know?
Yeah, making quick work of his opponent. I mean, like, FireStorm has been controlling the pace throughout, and I mean, honestly, I do think, just based on what I've seen in this match, Vince can truly take this. He just really needs to solidify some of his play here. Some of it is looking a little patchwork. It's looking good right now, but really, like, it starts to get out of control once Vince starts misdropping a lot. FireStorm's definitely not someone that you want to do that against.
Can we talk about those 2 mid-game PCs from FireStorm? That was nutty, alright? No other players doing that stuff, alright? Let's go.
That is actually insane, because I mean that's not even his record. I'm pretty sure he's done like 3 or 4 like mid-game before.
It's still crazy every time though, because mid-game PCs, right, there's also the whole luck element, how much garbage did you tank, right?
Right.
And
it shows the mastery of the board. I mean, just be able to manipulate it so that, you know, it fits the shape that it needs to in the moment.
And he always sees them too, which is just definitely speaks to his PC vision, right? Especially because PCs usually don't play that big of a part in sort of the versus game. It's cool to see FireStorm kind of incorporate that.
Yeah, it's just like or what it should be is a nice little bonus, but this is just, you know, out of control. The way they can explode something like that. Oh man.
Yeah. Unfortunate misdrop on Vince's end. And yeah. Good set. Good set.
Yeah, honestly, the showing from Vince was actually pretty impressive. I think like if he cleans up his game, I do still think like his speed is going to be a big factor here in the future as soon as he gets more consistent with his play. If he can fix that, or at least like optimize his fixes for the misdrops that he does do in a way that would pressure his opponent, you know, like I think if he adopts more of a Junba's playstyle in terms of like misdrop management, oozing out as much as he can, turning it into a downstack combo, I think like he can make some really big strides and some waves in multiplayer play.